I'm Doug Massi, and today I'm going to give you 3 actionable tips that you can do to get more people to answer the phone when you're calling your life insurance leads or even final expense leads. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to ask, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're putting out insurance sales content and life insurance sales training videos just like this, like all the time. The 3 main things that I am going to touch on and address in this video are the best times and days to call your leads, whether you're calling to set appointments or calling for telesales. In other words, you're selling remotely over the phone. I'm also going to get into the benefits of using an auto dialer. So like a lot of times agents will use a CRM. That's smart. Dialing through a CRM, that's one thing, but I'm going to talk about the differences because there are some pretty big differences. And finally, I'm going to share a special trick that most people kind of don't know or aren't sure about. And I'm telling you, if you do this one thing, it's going to potentially change everything for you. And guys, stick around until the end of the video, and I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the objections and deflections cheat sheet. Guys, I love giving away sales material. This is one of those things. If you're doing telesales, if you're selling life insurance products remotely, you absolutely want to have this. So stick around to the end of the video. I'll show you how to get this for yourself. So let's start with addressing the best times to call the leads. And guys, by the way, as far as the best days to call the leads, if you're just calling to book appointments, honestly, it really doesn't matter. Saturday might be like one of those key days. I used to do my calls when I originally was a Hartford agent. I used to call to set appointments on Sunday evening. So basically I'd have to be in the office on a Sunday from 3 in the afternoon until 9 p.m. at night. When you're calling to sell, it's a little bit different. So honestly, the best times to sell, you're talking calling to sell over the phone, is going to be anywhere, I would say 10 o'clock. Starting before that really isn't necessary. You're not going to get any benefit from it. You might be better off at 10 o'clock and calling up until 8 p.m. Now, that's your game changer, those evening calls. Here's why. Between 6 and 8 p.m., what I've noticed is answer rates are higher and closing rates are higher too with life insurance sales. So if you can get them on the phone, you got a better chance of closing them between 6 and 8 o'clock at night. And I would even say when I used to call throughout, I called any day to set appointments, you know, when I was just doing that. So we're not talking about selling over the phone. We're talking about setting appointments for face-to-face sales. I used to make my last dials in the evening around 8:30 p.m. because of that. I just found that the answer rates are better in the evenings. A lot of people that actually do work, they come home, they chill, maybe they'll have a beer, they eat dinner, they relax. The phone rang again, they finally pick it up while they're sitting down, and now you've got their attention. The most important thing about the when to call is immediately. I see agent after agent getting, I don't know what you call this, this paralysis, this thing where they're overanalyzing and they get the paralysis due to analysis thing. Look, your lead comes in, you need to call it immediately, as soon as possible. Waiting next week to call leads that are exclusive and then they came in last week, that's just a fool's errand. You're just wasting your lead. I am telling you, the best thing you can do is call the lead immediately. If it came in a minute ago, every minute that goes by is going to be worse for you. Call the lead immediately. Now, here's the trick that I mentioned. All right, let's jump into this before I get into number 3 and before I get into talking about using an auto dialer. One thing I'm going to say, a lot of people are very hesitant about this because they're afraid they're going to upset the prospect or upset the client. Who cares if the client gets upset if they're not answering the phone at all on a lead that you paid for, that you generated? They filled out the information. Your job is to get them that information. Triple dial. Okay, I'm telling you, this is the gold. Most agencies, and we teach our agents to double dial too. I always ask the agents, look, at least if you're having an issue with the people picking up the phone, triple dial. So what does that mean? So we use Go High Level. So in the CRM, we're basically hitting the dial tab. You know, the client's name is there. Boom, we're hitting the dial tab. It ring, ring, ring. They don't answer. We hang up, give it a 5 count, and then hit it again. That's a double dial. Do it 3 times. Do the triple dial. I am telling you, some people will be agitated and they'll be like, who is this? What are you calling for? Well, it's Doug. I'm calling because, and then you do your job. You got him to answer the phone. I'm telling you, you don't need to worry about them getting upset. Oh, I don't want to upset them from calling them too much. Dude, you bought the lead. You paid for the lead. You generated the lead. They filled out the dang lead form. Do your job. I don't care if you got to quadruple dial it. Do it. But I'm telling you, triple dial, it's gold. It works better. There are agents that tell you they don't double dial anymore at all. All they do is triple dial. And finally, the auto dialer. So as I mentioned, we use Go High Level. Go High Level has some really amazing features, but there are auto dialers that you can use as add-ons to your CRM, whether it's Go High Level or not. If you're selling life insurance over the phone, you're probably better off using Go High Level, just because of the cost, because of the benefits, just because it seems to be an overall better product. It's what we've been using for years. We have tried other dialers and we ended up going back to Go High Level. So to me, that is great, but it has one little flaw. With Go High Level or any CRM, you're using a phone number you purchased. If you're doing your job right and you're dialing, you're making 100, 150, 200, 300 dials a day, whatever it is that you're doing. You know, our agents don't have to make 300 dials a day if they've got 20 appointments a day and additional 30 or 40 leads a day on top of that. That's the cool thing about our system, but most people don't do that. Most agents aren't going to do that. They don't have an upline that has a system like that. So when you're using a CRM like Go High Level, what happens is you're calling the leads over and over, and they're marking the clients, the prospects are marking your phone numbers as spam likely. So now what you've got to do is every morning you've got to go and scrub the phone numbers you use. The nice thing is you can use multiple phone numbers. You got to scrub them and call them. Actually, what I tell my agents to do is just call from the system to your cell phone and see if it says spam likely. That's how you find out. And if it's marked as spam likely, switch phone numbers and use a different phone number. You can go and scrub that number. And that's the way to do it. When you use an auto dialer, the add-on like Kixie seems to be the best one. There's a couple other that sound good. I think that we're still recommending Kixie because that's the one we use, and that's the one that I've seen other agencies start with. They'd go use a different dialer and then they'd end up going back to Kixie. So that's really why we use it. It's pretty expensive. It's over $100 a month. And if you call Kixie and you're not affiliated with an agency like ours, they're going to ask you to pay upfront for 12 months. So thankfully our agents don't have to do that, but you just have to have an affiliation with the right agencies. The cool thing about Kixie is it scrubs your numbers for you. So what's happening is it's rotating and scrubbing. So when you call your clients, they're never seeing spam likely. They're never seeing that. So for that reason alone, you're getting more people to answer. Plus, you can have it on auto dial settings where it calls more phone numbers at the same time. So that is pretty sweet. I wouldn't call too many because then you have glitches with a system like that. To me, I still want to keep the phone numbers. If it's dialing more than one phone number at a time, I want to keep it at the minimum. I think it's like 3. I may be wrong, but either way, that's the value of having an add-on like Kixie to your CRM, your Go High Level. Guys, hopefully you got something out of the video today. If you'd like a copy of the objections and deflections cheat sheet that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us on our remote life insurance sales platform, where if you say, Doug, I don't care what it costs, I want 30 appointments every day, we can make that happen. Just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get your butt out there or get on that headset. But whatever you do, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.